I'm gonna be honest. I don't care how this video is gonna go. I've already tried like 3 attempts at starting, and they're each like 10 seconds long, and I've already given up on that. This video was supposed to me saying, "Hey, I'm just going to upload my work to YouTube and see how it goes." In this case, I was gonna upload my progress on an RTS I'm making for school. But well, 3 attempts went by, and I was like, "All right, this is too much effort." And then I had a different idea. What if I just make a proper introduction video for my channel, if I'm going to be uploading stuff anyway? So in this case, or in this video, I'm just going to be explaining me, and I'm also going to be explaining what this project is, and maybe a little bit of context to future projects, and also what is happening with the other videos too. That'll all make sense later. So me. My name is Bernard Orlando, and I'm a coder. I like to code in C Sharp. And I also like to use Unity. I am not fond of the other languages like C++ or Python or Java. I'm not saying they're bad languages. For C++'s case, it's a very low-level language, and that's not what I enjoy working with. I think it's a fantastic language in general. We wouldn't really have many of the things you see on screen if it weren't for C++ or C. Unity kind of made in C++. Yeah, but it's just not for me. Python just is a piece of shit. And Java, well, C Sharp's just Java but better. Um, and then I I wouldn't be using Unreal because Unreal is C++, and I'm gonna be honest, anytime I think of it, I think of that one time I heard when I don't actually know if it's true, but you had to reload or something every time you change a script or something. I don't actually know if that's true, or it probably wouldn't. That sounds like it would be fucking awful. But yeah, I pretty much stop on that thought. Um, yeah, so great introduction. Yeah, I know, thank you. What you got? So I'm trying to make an RTS, and I kind of made an RTS like thing in the past. I made an auto battler, and I'm gonna take all of that code, and I'm not gonna use that code. I'm gonna rewrite an auto battler or an RTS engine from scratch. And I've chosen to write the simulator first because that sounds like the most entertaining thing. And I'm also going to try to implement deterministic lockstepping. This will allow me to network stuff very easily, and we'll also be able to support replays and stuff without having to record the state of every fucking object in the scene. I'm also fond of having a lot of units, but I know that comes at the cost of being able to like micro stuff. Um, and I play StarCraft, and my main strength is being able to micro, and I suck at like macro, etc. Maybe one day I'll get out of Diamond League, but if I can't progress in that game, then I'll just make my own and add an MMR system. It'll support one player, and it'll just constantly say 9999. Even though I'm pretty sure StarCraft has their MMR capped at like 700 or 7,999 or 8,999, something along those lines. Um, so where this project is currently, because I didn't think I would be recording anything like anything to do with it and putting it on YouTube. I'm gonna build, although it's been a hot minute since I've done that. So this is one of those things that can either take 30 minutes or 3.5 seconds, depending on how many things you've changed. In this case, I added a material and tiles and altered it slightly, so it shouldn't be a pain in the ass. But um, it's pretty much just a terrain with a green glowing ball, and it uses a script I found off the Unity Asset Store about like 2 years ago, and I just altered it to be like RTS movement controls where you can move your mouse to the edges of the screen. I'm gonna try to keep my mouse in these darker spots of the screen so it's actually visible, because fun fact, it actually just stops existing whenever it's on a white part of the screen, so to prevent that from happening, it goes dark. And then there's also middle mouse button to pan around, and scroll wheel to scroll in and out. Maybe I'll also make it so the camera actually rotates slightly forwards like StarCraft does, but maybe I shouldn't make a one-to-one StarCraft copy, at least to the best of my ability. I'm also not an artist in any capacity. I know when things look bad, but I don't know how to make them look better, at least when it comes to modeling. with post-processing effects, like give me at least 3.5 years to fuck around with a global volume, and I'll get something that looks half decent. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not art. I like game design. That's kind of my like game design, coding. Those are kind of my both like favorite things to do, and amongst my biggest strengths. Coding slash mechanical engineering is my passion. So one day I actually want to leave the software space and go into building stuff. And I don't mean those fucking foam planes you see people making. I mean like I want to make my own vehicle company, etc. Uh, hopefully not like Ocean Gate where we make it too where we just put people in a pill and send it on like a couple thousand feet until it blows up. Um, um that's where this is. So like I said, I'm trying to work on this first. I don't know what the fuck I did to this. Oh. So I'm using a library I found off of GitHub for deterministic floats, and I'm not very fond of when people write code. Well, actually, this isn't that bad. Well, I don't know why the fuck this is just B, and this is just, I don't know. This is fine. I don't know what I'm saying. I should probably look at what I'm criticizing before I start criticizing. Usually, though, they'll have like some massive method where their inputs will just be like A, B, or F for float, and then or maybe T for time. It's like, all right, come on, you can type out the rest of the word. So it's just altering this to use names, and then trying to figure out how to get that in Unity. Oh, still getting there. And then I guess I'll go ahead and explain what's happening with the other projects. You know, if this is going to be like some introduction video for my channel, then I guess I'll start from the bottom. Um, this was fucking ages ago. There's this game called Brick Rigs, which is honestly it was pretty fun. It allowed you to just build creations with Legos, put them on a workshop, host servers where you'd see like maybe three other people in your lobby, etc. And I think that's the first time I heard of whatever the fuck fail role playing is. Um, and this is the start of like building stuff for me, and then years go by, and I'll occasionally remember, right, don't I have a YouTube channel thingy I can upload this to? And then that's what I'll do. And this is where I like actually built something for my school. So in my school we have civilization, which is a very, very boring topic. I go to a school that or has its model. Or Jesus Christ, speaking's hard. I can only speak if I'm not recording myself or I'm not talking to other people. Like, no, because I can do like exhibitions without too much issue. Anyway, um, building stuff. Auto Battler happened here. And then I also had a project for my dad where Neo4j stuff. I needed Unity to talk to Neo4j, but Unity doesn't support the same .NET that Neo4j did. So I used sockets to have it communicate. Um, and then this is me dropping a Deluxo from 10,000 feet in GTA. And then this is fucking command prompt. I have a lot better, or yeah, I have a significantly better version of this. What am I just dying immediately? Oh no, YouTube's just playing the first couple of seconds, is it? What? I don't know. YouTube plays the whole like thing out, but now it looks like it's just playing the first like second and a half of something. Yeah, where it would update the buffer, like it would construct the buffer and then manually update it instead of console.writeline, etc. Um, and then this is the first time I showcased my auto battler. Um, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it or where I was going with that. So I've had a history with auto battlers. This is the first one. Yeah, this is the first one I ever started working on. It's on my other computer. It's just called Untitled. Like, Unity wouldn't. Jesus Christ! Unity didn't automatically put Untitled there. I manually just put Untitled. I'm pretty sure it was like Untitled open parenthesis one or something that Unity would have recommended. But this was a big achievement for me. Horses don't do it in this. I had an issue where horses would fucking like drift around their target for a little bit. So since that was my first auto battler, there were a lot of crappy systems in it. Like every unit was just one script, which was convenient. for making new units, but how do I describe this? It wasn't exactly scalable. So I completely flipped that upside down for this, where a unit is built up of modules, kind of inspired by how StarCraft does it. I mean, they're not like actors with different things on it, but you have a unit script which has a list of modules that you add, and it'll execute each module. It's also multi-threaded, but it's not deterministic, and I can't actually repeat the results of any action. In fact, for this exact video, I had it really close to what I wanted, so I hit play, went, nah, that wasn't too good, and then I would just restart it and went, okay, maybe that one's better. Alright, no, that one's worse. Alright, we're getting back, and there we go, that's perfect. So that's kind of how we went from there. That was a pain in the ass. We're not even going to talk about that. We're also not going to talk about this. Well, unnecessary cut there. I screwed up, but we're just gonna go up. A teaser for my new game. So I was working on an auto battler for mobile. I don't remember exactly why I stopped. I think just other things interested me. Um, I still have the project on my other computer. It also just had a weird tendency to just crash, and I have no idea why. This one was not a threaded one, I don't think. So if an error occurred in another thread and went up and Unity, no, I'm pretty sure Unity was good with that. Anyway, this video has pretty much everything I can be bothered to explain. And then this video is the content from what you see in this auto battler, but I rewrote the whole fucking thing again. Uh, no, I think is this the rewritten version? No, 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 no. This auto battler is this auto battler. So these three videos are the same. Well, this video's identical to this one. I just talked during it. And then this video actually comes from a rewritten version, which actually supports air units. Because this one is deceiving. It looks like it supports air units, but I just duplicated the plane and moved it up and called it air units. This one, I did it differently. I duplicated the plane, moved it up, and called it air units, but slightly better. Um, and it's also my most recent and far faster than this one because God, my method for executing like different units was to put it all in a try statement, and when I wanted to move on to the next unit, I would throw a new move on to the next unit exception, and then I would catch it. I would say if the exception is move on to the next unit exception, then I would move on to the next unit. I have learned my lesson since then. I don't know why the fuck I did it like that. One would say use a for loop, but that's really complicated. Um, and then Chicken Destroyer of Worlds is I took a chicken and upscaled it, and I don't know why. I published it because I already had a recording, so I figured why not. Yeah. So I don't know how you get like some video up here. Like if I click on make one of these channels, you'll see a video right here, and it's like, hi, this is my channel, or this is my most popular video, and I wanted to milk it even more by putting it up here. Um, so this is probably going to be up there if I can get that working. And yeah, all right. If I'm gonna release more videos on the progress of both this and something else I'm working on. I'm also working on a VR game. Uh, so there's this company that has like Games of Genius. There we go. I kept saying Polymath in my head, but no, it's Games of Genius. That I was turning into a VR game, and even if I can't work on it, I'm just gonna proceed because, well, I technically don't need them. Um, Even if they have a patent, I'm not working on the stuff that should interfere with that. Where I'm taking like colors, sounds, shapes. I'm trying to make a math game, but like actually fun and not one of those math games where you're playing a game and then all of a sudden you're interrupted with a math problem and you have to answer it, and then you could resume your math game. So I'm trying to make something for VR for education, and maybe sell it in the acting model or something. I don't know. It depends on how the future goes. Um, and then I'm also working on. I'm pretty sure it's on my other desktop. Yeah, here it is. Um, So I'm making something. It's the project name is just literally Brett's main networking solution version 2. The first one used a system like a method of sending data that was even worse than throwing an error and catching it to move on to the next unit, even when you have thousands of units. So a little bit of context. BMNS, Jesus Christ, it's like a fucking tongue twister to say. BMNS. Um, what it's supposed to be here for is to just make using sockets easier. Um, so I can still use it like a normal socket where I can just say socket.connect to this person, and I mean I can tag that's like technically easier because if we scroll up through this atrocity, it's still a work in progress, and I'm probably gonna rewrite a lot of components of it, just smoothing it out. Um, you can say string address in timeout. I'm pretty sure I need to fix these because I want to make this faster. I don't know if that would be necessary. I mean, it works, but something feels wrong about string splitting in here. I went through so much effort to make the other parts faster. Anyway, um, yeah. So, and then you can send encrypted sockets. Encrypted sockets? I guess if you use JSON and it'll unpack and no. You can send encrypted packets to the other person, and it would be in a message-based protocol instead of just a stream. So you can in speaking's hard. You can just tell it, hey, send this byte array, and you can tell it that as fast as you want, and you don't have to worry about getting jumbled garbage on the other end. Um, and then I'm also trying to make a system for servers. So I have this domain server class. I literally just started it. Um, and it's to help get around port forwarding, like for games and stuff. So you'll have one server that'll just take the data in and just forward it. Um, and yeah, no, that's. I'm also making. Jeez, I'm making so many things. I'm also making a Galaga game with my brother. It's Galaga but modernized. My brother is also. He's a very game development, like he's a very competent person in that department. So we're trying to modernize Galaga, and it's going to be using this, and so I'm probably going to like deploy a server on AWS, and then I don't know. I keep saying and then going, well, I don't actually have a follow-up to that part of the sentence. I'm done. I finished. So yeah, that's where all these awkward transitions are coming from. I'm also new to just speaking like this, like on YouTube. Um, yeah, I work best when I have time to think, but that's pretty much everyone. Yeah, so I may release like I don't know if anyone would actually care to have this. It does make things a lot. Oh, it also has an automatic ping thing, so it's just helpful in Unity when the other person disconnects. I think my brother had an issue where whenever I'm the server and I close the server and he doesn't disconnect, his Unity would just crash. So it was nice when that wasn't the case, which this helped fix. And then this method is me hacking something in, and this is so I could get back to where I was. It also allows you to send data. Like I want to send a packet, and then you can respond to specifically that packet. And so you can call methods like send and receive single, or yeah, send and receive single, and then send and receive multiple. Um, yeah, so you can just send and then call receive. Where's it? Oh, here. I'm still working on the send and receive multiple, so there's just a fucking like tons of temporary methods just making things easier to work with. Where you can send an array of data, your packet tags, and then you have actions for when you've received a packet, and once you've finalized the packet, and then it'll return to you a multi-packet response where you can get all the packets that are responding to your send, etc. And then these will have IDs and stuff. Yeah. It also doesn't like packets aren't just JSON strings, like it's actually like the extra data is just compacted nicely. I'm gonna be honest, I just haven't had anyone to actually describe this to because no one else in my family writes C#. My brother is a native Python coder, So the Galaga thing, well, I don't really have anyone who uses this right now. And then, yeah, that's the networking thing. That's the real-time strategy that I'm working on. That was describing these things down here, which it's weird because I'm moving my mouse through OBS. So here's the stop recording button, but you guys only see the YouTube page. Yeah. This was Brett. This was a very poorly done introduction. I hope you enjoy future videos that I release, because there's no way in hell you're enjoying this one. Alright, thank you for watching.